Hey guys, this is Josh here with Trillium Wild Edibles. I wanted to bring you guys an identification video on the gem-studded puffball. The little mushrooms that you see in front of you are gem-studded puffballs. The gem-studded puffball is a common mushroom in the eastern woodlands, and like other puffballs, it prefers bare soil, kind of like the mound of dirt that you see here. They usually grow solitary or in groups of 2 to 3, and very rarely do I find a lot of them at once. However, I generally find other puffballs nearby, like pear-shaped puffballs. There are a couple of ways that you can tell this is a gem-studded puffball. The small puffball is kind of shaped like a top and is white in color. Another way you can tell is because of all those little studs that you see on top. Its round shape, followed by its texture. It has a texture kind of like a common puffball. Here is a close-up of the studs on the top of the mushroom. Just like with any other puffball, it will get softer as it ages and deteriorates, and feels sort of like an empty sack. You can generally tell when a puffball is too old to harvest because if you squeeze them, you will usually see spores coming out. However, the two in front of us look to be very good. Whenever I go to squeeze this one, I can tell that it's very firm by feel. Also, whenever I go to squeeze the other one, it too is firm as well. So these two are probably going to be okay to harvest. But since there's only two, and here is my index finger, you can see how small these really are. So I'm not going to take these. Another way you can tell if they are too old to harvest is to cut them in half. When you do, they should be white on the inside. You shouldn't see any brown or green, and also check for signs of a stem developing inside. Doing this will help you to determine them from any young toxic lookalikes, for example, Entoloma or Amanita species. Also, after cutting, the smell of mushrooms will become very strong. Here's an example of what puffballs will generally look like whenever they start to decay and deteriorate. Though these are pear-shaped puffballs, this still gives you a kind of good example of what I mean by an empty sack. The little hole that you see in the top here is where the spores will come out whenever you give the mushroom a squeeze. And you can see that whenever I squeeze this one, all those little spores will come out, kind of like a little green smog cloud. Also, you may note that after squeezing them, you'll see these little indentations where your fingers were, just like you can see here. However, you can see that there was quite a bit of them here. Unfortunately though, they're not worth harvesting. Here's a close-up of a little cluster of pear-shaped puffballs that have all developed holes in the tops. This is just so you guys can get an idea of what to avoid, and that whenever you see this on your puffballs, they're going to be way too old to harvest. So I thank you guys for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it.